Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Teaching in the Diaspora. I will let my amazing, amazing co moderator introduce herself and introduce today's topic because it's going to be a one.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to today's live session. So, you're welcome back. If this is your first time here, we have a live session in which we do some Sundays, and this takes up at 7 p.m. and run through till 8 thereabout. So, here we talk about teach abroad, life abroad. Diaspora Doodles as a channel, and this is streaming on Diaspora Doodles. I have my channel, Mohumi's channel, where I talk about teach abroad, life abroad. So my name is Omoumi, yes, from the name of my channel, and I'm a licensed teacher in the United Kingdom. I'm a science teacher, and I teach in the secondary. So here today, okay, taking you back, we have lots of live videos on our channel in which we have done. Oyin is not here today. She's very busy. We are three amazing teachers in which we do this live video on Sundays together. So we have a lot of videos. So you can, after this live session, you can go to our channels, sit back and watch all these videos we have on CV, on interview, how to navigate, and all that. So you can just go through, and I'm very sure you're going to learn a lot from it. So today we are going to be talking about parenting abroad, life abroad, balancing cultures and traditions from the title of this live session. Well, when I came into the United Kingdom,
Hmm.
I'm married, I have kids. It's not easy balancing life abroad with parenting. It's not an easy one because back in our countries, I'm from Africa, I'm from Nigeria, you can still have your neighbor to assist you. You can have your mom. I have my mom there. I can just call her, okay, mom, I'll be traveling, I'll be going, I have work to do. Come and take your grandchildren.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, come and take them. Come and take them. They have to, they must, especially summer holiday is coming.
Ah,
My kids
yes.
go to my mom's place, they will go to my mother-in-law's place, and I will have all the time to myself. But now it is different. This summer holiday, we are stuck together. Yes, we are stuck together. So we are going to be discussing how you can balance this up so that you won't be frustrated. Mental health is real, is
Yes.
not scam, it is real, so that you won't be frustrated, and then you won't you won't get into some troubles because parenting back home is different from parenting here. Okay, so
Yes.
I'll let Diaspora introduce herself as well, and then we can dive into this video. Please like, comment, ask your questions, and then let's get through this video together.
I love that introduction. My name is Janet and I'm from Diaspora Doodles. As you can see, the name of my channel is just down there. I'm an early years trained teacher. I trained in the early years. I don't know. I think I was crazy or something, but I loved it so much. Although now I'm a year four teacher in a school in Spain, and I've enjoyed every single minute of my time in Spain. Living la vida loca. Before now, I have traveled to 9 countries across 6 continents, enjoyed every single minute of it. If you head over to my channel, you will see all the countries that I've been to: Norway, Netherlands, Spain, UK. I did work in the UK. I should have been there when mommy was there. You guys would have been getting content. Yes, I've also been to Oman, Egypt, Australia, Myanmar, did a bit in China, but I never really put China on there because I didn't stay there long enough for me to have. I mean, I was there for a while, so yeah, I would throw that on my channel at some point. If you want to know everything about us, just head over to our channel. Omomi has lifestyle. I am trying to infuse some lifestyle into it now because school is on break for me. Spain, we've gone on holiday. We went on holiday on the 19th, although teachers were at school till the 29th, 30th, and we'll be resuming on the 1st of September. So, you guys, I'm going to be filling my channel with all about me. You get to know the real me behind the teacher. Today we're talking about motherhood. Omomi is in the UK with her husband and her children. I have had a bit of traveling around the world without my husband. There were times when I traveled with just the children. I was alone with the children. So I'm going to be covering that side of it for single moms on the go, especially teachers. Omomi, as teachers, we have an extra, because you're taking care of other people's children. They'll be looking at
Yes.
your children like, if your children just cough, everybody wants to know what's going on. In Nigeria, we say, Omo teacher. They just have this
Mm.
thing that teachers' children are put to a different standard, and teachers ourselves were put to a different standard. So today we're going to be talking about balancing it so that your job doesn't suffer because you can't run away from it. If anything goes on your DBS, whether from home, whether from school, that DBS follows you into work. And today we're going to be breaking down everything you need to know so that you can balance being a teacher, because our channel is a teaching channel, and parenting at first. To start it off, I would like to give a little story here. When I was in the UK, I was alone. The whole time I was in the UK, I was alone. And my husband was not with me. He was off in Nigeria. He was working. And I was alone in the UK with the children. Childcare was the biggest pain of my life. I did not know how I survived in the UK. Two children. My daughter was one, because we just left the US. My daughter was one. My son was 6. And if we know the childcare laws in the UK, I was this close to social services coming to yank my children off me at some point. And you know how it would have gone on my DBS. She can't take care of her two
Yeah.
children.
Children, then you won't be able to take care of. Mm.
Exactly. How are we going to leave her with 30 if she can't take care of two? So, yes, it was a nightmare period. But that's why I tell people I grew up when I went to the UK. I suddenly understood that there's nothing like, honey, take the children, please. I want to sleep. Or take the children, I have lesson plan. Or take the children, I have this. And you know how children talk. They go to school the
Yeah.
next morning.
Yes.
And circle time, I'm an early years teacher. We know what we do. We know the questions we ask. We
Mm.
start asking questions. So what did you do this morning? It's not true. I've got my pen and paper writing it down. Any child that says anything that makes my ear go cring,
Yeah.
you just write it down. I think at some point I was my anxiety, because I was doing my PGCE at the time. I was raising a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old. I was trying to get through the culture in the UK to understand things that I was supposed to do. So I think I was not very patient with my daughter when I was feeding her.
Mm.
So she went into school one day and she said she was playing with the dolls in the classroom, because this was what was written on the paper. She was playing with the dolls in the classroom, and then she hit the door. Eat, hurry up. I'm in a hurry. I need to get to work. So they wrote everything down. And then they called me in for a meeting. And I went in for a meeting. And I remember saying, at first I was like, I can't remember. That doesn't really happen. But as I was talking and they were saying things, it was like my brain was, when your brain is rewinding. Cartoons, when it feels like your whole life is just flashing. So yes, they actually sent me to parenting class in the UK. This is my first time facing up. So you guys on my channel, you guys are hearing it from me today. I went to parenting class. It was 3 days over it was a weekend thing, because they knew I was working. They knew I was a PGC student. They knew I was working at night and doing PGC in the daytime and caring for children. So I think I got away with a slap on the wrist, because they understood that my life was chaotic. It was not an easy one at the time. And one of the things I learned in parenting class was that as soon as the child starts getting anxious, I should remember that the child is sponging off my
Mm.
child is sponging off my emotions. And if I'm getting anxious, the child will be getting more and more anxious, and she'll start acting up. She won't want to eat and all of that. So that was the
Mm.
first thing I learned. When your children start to exhibit a behavior that you think is not normal, calm down, check
Mm,
yourself.
yeah.
Because they might be mirroring something that you're doing. It happens in the classroom as well. If the children are getting agitated and you are getting agitated,
Mm.
try and calm down a little because they always mirror your behavior. Mom, do you want to give them your own story or do you want to? Because this one takes me back. Oh, my daughter is 17 this year, and this was when she was
Wow.
one. Imagine this was 16 years ago. I was a nervous wreck back then.
Hmm.
I can't believe my PGC was 16 years ago. Woo, that was not a good time at all. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I would also say, still on the school parenting and all that, even if it's not from home, it might be from the school. Try
Yes.
as much as, no matter that shift, no matter how, I know how the United, especially the UK, I know how it is. You have, even some has two jobs, you're doing night, you're trying to get, you just have to pay your bills, because definitely you have to pay your bills, the bills are
Yes.
running. Even though you have all these at hand, please still find time to ask your student, your, I said students,
Sure.
I'm a teacher,
But that,
your
yeah.
children,
As a
your
teacher, you can't really separate home life and it's all married together. Yeah.
your children questions when they get back from school. Let them tell you how their day has went. So from what you have, we teachers, we are psychologists. From the gist they are going to give you, I call it gist because
Yeah.
you don't just ask them, "Oh, how was your day?" Definitely, they will tell you it was fine, or
Yeah.
okay, that's it. Even students, when you tell, "Do you understand?" Yes, well, even though they don't understand. So you can start with, "Oh, what did you have for lunch?" And then they will tell you, oh, they would do all the dramatics. This was what they had for lunch. And then they can tell you, during lunch, someone stepped on me. During lunch, I bumped into someone. Then they start giving you all what has happened during
Exactly.
the, during the day. And then if you notice something is wrong, don't be scared to go to the school. I noticed this
Yes.
is common with we Africans coming into the country as immigrants or new immigrants. We tend to be scared to go to the school. Maybe just like back in Africa, we don't really go to our children's school
Yeah.
because we don't want them to be like, oh, is it our children alone? Because you feel that with, is it our children alone? She comes here to complain every day. Here, if you notice anything wrong, you go to the school, you talk about it to
Yeah.
with the teacher. You can even take it further if you're not okay with that, probably what they have told you. You can take it further to the head, to the probably the head of the school. Yes, that's fine. You can take it further to the head of the school, or probably the, I don't know what they use in the with the early years. What do you use? Most times I talk with my children's teacher after
Yes,
the student.
the head of early years.
Okay, yes, head of early years. You can talk
Yeah.
with them, you can discuss things with them. When they know, I noticed that when they know that you know so much about your children, it's rare for you to have problem. It's
Yes.
rare for you to have.
Yes.
There was a time my son had came 2 days in a week in a row with because in the UK, if your son or if your children gets injured in school, they will give them like, I've forgotten what this, the name is. Whereby
It's
they'll
like
give him
an
like a
incident.
body
Incident.
chart, yeah,
Yes.
like a body chart, a report of where the bruise is and all that. So he came in 2 days in a week with that. When I took him to the school, like the third or fourth day, I was telling my son, "Do not fall today," and he felt bad. It was sad because
Mhm.
I was telling him, Don't get injured today." The teacher will notice this. In fact, when they get to school in the morning, it's on their, because I've been to their into their class and I've been in the primary school. I've taught
Yes.
in the primary school. It's on the wall whereby we have happy, we have sad,
Sad,
we have, yes,
anxious, yes, emotions.
exactly. So when it got to the, because the teacher will welcome them to the classroom. When it got to the front of the classroom, the teacher was like, "Oh, why is your face so sad today?" Immediately, I spoke with the teacher. I told him not to get injured today. Then teacher felt like, because they gave me two body charts in a week, two. So I had to discuss with the teacher. I was telling him not to get injured today. If I hadn't said anything, they might take it further, asking questions because
Yeah.
they saw him, he was scared. So don't be scared to open up. And then I would say if your children get hurt, because we're still on the path that getting injured in school, getting injured at home. We have hyper children. We have some children that would jump up, down, and all that. If they get injured in school, in at home, when you get to school, talk about it. Don't let them
Exactly.
notice first.
No, yes, yes. I wanted to say that because if the teacher notices it before you, it will be as if you are negligent there,
Yeah,
or so many things will come through. Cause for
yeah,
concern form will be flying left and right. So yeah,
yes.
I know how
Or
many
when,
I feel parents.
yeah. Or when they ask you, then you're shocked and like, oh, did he come? You're not even sure whether it was from home or no. That's
Ooh.
not so good. So when you get to school, even because some people are scared when their children get hurt from home and they'll be like, oh, we don't want him to go to. I've spoken with a parent like that outside school saying they don't want the child, not even in my school now, outside, just in the community, saying we don't want him to go to school because he got injured. I said, no, let him go to school. He must not miss school. But as soon as you get to the entrance of that class, speak with the teacher of your child. Okay, let me just use for example, Clara had an injury yesterday. Give explanation of what happened. Let them know
Yes,
an adult was there, but he was
that's
playing.
true.
He has some bruises. We've taken care of it. If you've taken him or her to the GP, talk about it. If you've probably gotten doctor's report, you can show it to them just for them to know you care about your children, not them noticing and then you don't even know whether it happened at home or in the community or at school.
Exactly. You know what? You've covered the part because I'm looking at my notes now. I'm saying dealing with balancing discipline and cultural differences strategies. But there's something that we did not talk about. Sorry, I just jumped it. It's
Okay.
maintaining the cultural identity. What can
Mm.
we say about maintaining cultural identity? Because my children have been in situations where they're the only black children for miles and
Mm.
miles and miles and miles. It was particularly uh, it was particularly visible in Australia. Australia has a peculiar culture where there's the Aboriginals and then there's the Caucasians. And there's a history behind it where there's so much that happened to the Aboriginals. And the Aboriginals are black, even though they're black with blue eyes and curly hair. There's a way you can distinguish them from afar. And they have this thing where you don't really see Aboriginals in the classroom. There's a huge story about that I'm going to throw on my channel because when I now came, I'm darker than most of them, and my children are darker than most of them. And there's that cultural difference that they always had. So when my children got there, at that point, I wasn't really so into cultural, making sure we maintain our culture, making sure that we remember that we're Nigerians. And I remember that. People were looking at my children, and there were times when they would tell them that, what are you doing here? You don't belong there, that kind of thing.
Mm.
And thank God my children were older at the time, so my daughter, she will give you back. If you say one thing, she will give you 10 things. She knows. She knows. Don't try her, because I think she has had to build that resilience because we've traveled around. And if there's one thing that I'm happy that I try to instill in them, is the fact that you are unique. There's
Mm.
nobody like you. There's no
Mm.
two of you. So
Mm.
hang in your uniqueness. I didn't really push the part about being a Nigerian, but I pushed the part about being you. Now, one of the things I used to tell her was that, you African. And she used to tell them, I'm Nigerian. They say, yes, but you're African. And at that time, she was like, no, I'm not African, I'm Nigerian, that kind of thing. I think as teachers who are also know what happens inside the school, because of the fact that we are teachers, we need to instill in our children that cultural value.
Mm.
I am Nigerian. I am African, because there's something that I always tell my children: if you stand for something, you will not fall for anything. If you know who you are, I think I left a post on my channel, on my community page at one point, and I said, tell me one thing that struck you. And someone said, remember the son of who you are. And I was blown away, because it's something that I tell my children to remember the daughter and the son of who you are. That means you are Nigerian. We are not ashamed to be Nigerian. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what names they give Nigerians anywhere. We are Nigerians and we stand proud. If you know, if you've heard stories about Nigerians before, don't go and hide and say, I'm not Nigerian, and then remove your identity. Because when children don't have an identity, then it makes them feel already in their head that they are victims. No,
Mm.
I'm Nigerian. Yes, but I've seen many Nigerians are bad, but you've not met me. That's what my children will say. But you've not met me. Why don't you let me show you who a Nigerian is? How many Nigerians have you seen? And they'll tell you, I heard a story. Yeah, you heard a story, but you are seeing a Nigerian. So look at this Nigerian now and let this. But a child can only say that if he's confident in his cultural identity, if he's confident in the fact that no matter what happens, I am me and I will not change, and this is who I am. You are white, you are not white, you are black, and I am me, and we can all exist in the same place without. I think children need that a lot in the diaspora. What do you think?
Yes, you're right. You're very right. Yes. Children needs that. They should know you can't just push me off. You can't just who I am. Yes.
And it will give them that confidence, and that confidence for them to stand tall in whatever sphere. One of my
Yeah.
nephews had a African Day in the school one day, and he went up to his teacher and said, "Why are we having African Day? We had There was a day for Scotland, there was a day for Wales, there was a day for England. We celebrated St. George. Why are we having African Day? There are 54 countries in Africa." He's in year four. He's like me. I think I've posted his picture on Instagram before. He's like me. He's just you can't silence him. And because of that, the teacher had to revamp the activity, where they now had to learn about the different countries in Africa, and
Mm.
everybody will now give a sort of presentation about it, instead of
Vision.
just lumping Africa together.
Yeah.
But that's because I had learned so much from my own children moving around the world. And because he's my nephew, he sort of, I rub off on him. And because of that, he understands I am, first of all, African Nigerian, and then I'm African, and then that sort of thing. So he challenged his teacher, why are we lumping Africa together? No, Africa has 54 countries. We'll treat
Yeah.
each one differently, because I'm from Nigeria. That's what he said, because I'm from Nigeria, and I know that what we do in Nigeria, they don't do it in other parts of Africa. And his teacher just was like, okay, okay. And when we give our children that confidence, it helps them not fall into that victim mentality trap. And if they don't fall into that victim mentality trap, they'll be able to open their mouths and defend themselves at school. So that even
Mm.
when the teacher is not noticing things about them, that confidence, they're like, I'm Nigerian. We don't slack. I'm going to go and talk. I'm going to go and say this thing. And bullying will be there. We can't remove bullying from schools. There's no way we can remove bullying from schools, but they will be able
Yeah.
to stand their ground a little until we can come in and help them. And it all starts from home, where we
Mm.
pat them with that confidence. We have to give them, if, as you said in the beginning, when we're at home, we have grandparents, we have uncles, we have aunties, we have people who help us buttress this. But when we are not at home, we're in the diaspora, we have to learn how to, like our title says, balance the culture and tradition, where we become the grandparents, the auntie, the uncle, or we build a community around them that still gives them that confidence that they will have if they're at home.
Mm.
What do you think? Please add to it, because this topic is hot for me because of all my travels around the world.
Yeah, yes, you're actually right. And I think we have, before I continue, I think we have some people on here. So I would like to
Okay,
give
yes.
you a shout out. Shout out to Orone. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Orone Dixon, shout out to you. You're welcome. Sheku, you're welcome. We have Fortune. Fortune, you're,
Fortune.
you're
Lucy
welcome.
said it's an interesting topic. It is an interesting topic because as
Yes,
a
Lucy,
teacher,
you're welcome.
oh,
Alimat Rahim, you're welcome as well. Please, I would like you to drop your questions. Yes,
yes,
while we're
please.
still talking about it,
Yes,
please drop your
please.
questions in the comment section, and then we can also talk about it. She said, "I'm watching with my daughter." Oh, bless your daughter.
Yay!
James,
Halima,
you're welcome. Temi
Halima
talk
said,
and care, you're welcome.
welcome, guys. Halima said, Diaspora Doodles, how did you manage a loan with 2 kids, your PGC, and a job? My
This is
dear,
a
I was
challenge.
working at night, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. at a care home, but I knew I didn't want to stay in the care home. So I think that determination was the only thing. And I existed on coffee. That's why I don't drink coffee anymore. After my PGCE year, I canceled coffee from my diet forever. I'm like, I cannot drink coffee again because I've taken enough coffee to last me 3 lifetimes. I'm not going to do it. It was crazy. Anybody who knows me knows I did care because I've talked about it on my channel. And you can't sleep. If you work in a care home, you know, is when the residents are sleeping, you are cleaning. I
Yeah.
nearly died. Oh, that's why I'm here on YouTube preaching. Guys, leave care. Let's come to teaching. If you can do care, you can do teaching assistant. If you can do care, you can teach in the classroom. It's all about love and giving love and nurturing. Let's come and nurture children instead and give our children confidence in the classroom. I almost died. My child was 1. My son was 6. I was doing care from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. because that's when my shift would end. And then in the morning, I will run home, do 2 hours of sleep. Crazy. Wake up, wake up at 8, throw the children into the car because I used to bathe them at night before putting them to bed and going to work. So in the morning, I just throw them into their uniform. I throw them into their uniforms, throw them to breakfast club, and throw myself to work because we're not even in the same school. I didn't want to move them because I was doing placements and my placements only lasted 11 weeks and then 14 weeks and I think another 14 weeks or something funny like that. So I didn't want to be moving them from one place to the other for my placement. So they were in one school. I registered for a breakfast club, which is why I had to work extra at the care home so that the money my husband was giving me would be augmented. That's why when I look at people now doing PGCE and working, I'm like, I feel you. No. And that's why I started mentoring in 2014, especially black moms. Even if you're married, even if you're not married, as a black mom, you need a mentor who has gone through it. And I felt I was going to be giving value from there.
Yes.
So yes, I hope I've answered
Yes.
that question. Lucy, Timitope said, I'm also in that situation. One child, hobby in Nigeria, and
Oh,
QTS ongoing. Timitope,
bless you.
send me an email if you need any tips, or even if you just need someone to just, sometimes you just want to scream and then let the
Yeah.
everything evaporate. If you want to scream, just get in touch. We'll scream together, we'll cry together, we'll laugh together, and then you can go back to your work because it's the hardest thing anyone can ever do. Right now, I advise people, I try to advise people, wait until your baby is at least 2 or 3 before you do PGCE. In the
Mm,
meantime, do teaching assistant so that you are still keeping up. Because being a teaching assistant is like doing PGCE, truly. Because you're learning, you have the opportunity to learn.
yeah.
Oh, mommy, you know me. If they leave me, I'll continue talking. I'll let you say something.
Yeah. Well, also, I would I think Diaspora Doodles, as she mentioned something when we started, that we should be careful, especially if you're a teacher. Now she mentioned about care, even if you're a carer, you have, because these two jobs has to do with DBS. So just like she said earlier, if you have problems with the social services, They will tell you you can't take care of your children. Definitely, you won't be taking care of others. I think I heard about this online. I can't remember if it's on YouTube or probably another social media platform,
It happened to
whereby
me. Yeah.
whereby so the person was a carer because he could not um, do that anymore. Was a carer, and he left his, I think, 2-year-old or 3-year-old at home to probably just get something in the store very close to the house.
Oh.
I
Oh.
learned on about the story that the daughter was sleeping, so it was just like, oh, let me just rush out and rush back. So as and children. I keep on saying students. I'm sorry. I'm a teacher. I'm just used to it.
Yeah,
children,
you're not
are,
among gay yet like me.
children are very sensitive. Immediately you step out, they might be awake. So I
Yes.
think probably that was what happened. So the daughters woke up, started crying. The neighbors had to call the police. He was not there. He just felt, let me rush out, get something, and then come back. So when he came back, he met the police in his house. What's happening? They said the daughter was crying in the yard, or probably, and the neighbor had to call the police. So fine, they didn't take, because some people are also scared that, okay, any small thing. I've heard that, and I think that's Dodo should also talk about that because she has lived in the UK. Some people are scared that, okay, anything social services will take your children. No, it has a process. It's not that they'll
There's a
just come
problem.
and take your children.
No.
Yes, this person, they didn't take his child, but he couldn't practice anymore. He was a carer because they thought, you cannot take care of your daughter, then how are you going to take care of a vulnerable person? That means you
Yeah.
can leave the thing that what it was attached to that means you can leave a vulnerable person you're taking care of and then rush out to go and get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So fine,
Yeah.
he might get another job or something, but that cost him his job at that point. So
Yeah.
we should be very careful in terms of don't just imagine this child will still be asleep for 2 hours. Let me rush
No.
out. No, go together. Go and get a stroller.
Yes.
If you don't have a car, put your baby
Yes.
or your child inside it. Go to everywhere you do. Here in the diaspora, here in abroad, or I was just saying in the United Kingdom, your children, they are like glued to you, glued together
Yes.
until yes, until they are at a certain age. And I think here in the UK is until they are 12. Even the 12 has a clause. They cannot sleep at home all through the night alone until they
No.
are 16.
Yes.
So we have to abide by these rules. Just you get used to it. I know where probably from your country you're coming from, it's not like that. You can leave your child with the neighbor. You can even tell the neighbor, my children are at home. Please, I'm going,
Yeah.
I'm going out.
Yes. Leave your child with the neighbor all the time. The neighbor might be the one. Oh my God. The neighbor might
Yes.
be the one that will report
I,
you.
I heard that too from a channel. In fact, the YouTuber is my friend. I learned that from her channel. She spoke about it, I think, a while ago, whereby this person was leaving her children with the neighbor. It was the neighbor that called the social services that this person
Yes.
is not always available, leaving her children with me.
With me. Yeah. 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 I think I watched that one too. I mean, do you know what? Many times when I see all those things, I do. I remember when I was there that I didn't lose these children because it was social services that prescribed the parenting class to me. The school had gathered
Mm,
a lot of information on how my son was at primary school, my daughter was at nursery, but they were gathering information on both children. So by the time social services got involved, they looked at all the information they had gathered on both sides.
mm.
Now, I wasn't telling the school anything. I was not telling the school anything. You know how Nigerians we are now. We don't talk. We keep it all
Yeah.
in. Even when we have
Mm,
access to mental health
mm,
professionals, because
mhm.
on your PGC you have access to a mental health coach. I refuse to go in there. If you go to university campuses, you will see there's always a chapel, there's always a psychologist on there, there's always someone to help. But Nigerian me, I never went because I felt my business is my business, you know.
Mm.
So by the time I got in trouble and they now heard my side of the story, like you said, they don't take the child just like that. They look at all the
Yes.
evidence that you
Mhm.
have,
Yeah.
and then they try to solve the problem first, And
Mm-hmm.
if they see that you are cooperative with them, then they work with you. But the thing
Yeah.
is, once social services gets involved in your matter, they don't let go because they keep putting their eyes on it. And I think this is
Yeah.
what is happening. Many times we hear stories of Africans that have lost their children to social welfare, or social care, or social carers, or something like that, and social services, I mean. And we think, oh, they just came in like devils in the night and just
Mm.
doesn't happen like that. It's a build up of the case. It's a
Yeah.
build up of the case. And finally, they let me go because they understood that I wasn't trying to collect money from the government. If not, I could have been going to food banks and all those kind of things. I had
Mm.
a house, I had the children, I had no one helping me. I didn't have a community because I didn't even have time to build a community. I was going to church online when I'm at my care work because I was still going to church, but I was not going to a physical church. I wasn't
Yeah.
communing with people. So I didn't even
Mm.
have that community around me. I used to have my online church, and I fixed my online church because I thought I was being proactive. I was going to the same church I used to go to when I was in the US. So their time was different. So when I'm at the care home, they are doing the service. And for me, I was like, okay, I listened to my church there, but that removed support from around me. I wasn't
Mm.
talking to my neighbors like that because I don't have time to talk to my neighbors. I'm running from one thing to the other, running to pick children from breakfast club, running to take them to
Mm.
bed. Even if they say, Mommy, I just want to talk to Elijah. You can't talk to Elijah. I have to run, feed you quickly, throw you to bed. And because they have to be asleep before I go. I was lucky. My neighbor, Audrey, God bless her soul, she was the one that used to keep an eye on them for me. Because she told me, she said she lost her husband when she was very young and she knows what it feels like. So she would come into my house and stay with them. So she was one good one. She didn't report me. She just said, when is your course going to finish before you kill yourself? This woman, she's coming, this girl, she was about 93 at the time. Oh,
Oh, bless
it
her.
was but that is the essential part of building a community. You have to
Mm.
build a community.
Yeah.
Momi, Oyin, and I have built a community. We've
Mm-hmm.
not met each other before, but we all work together, and that's Couscous said it on my video that I released on Friday. You have to build a community around you. And that
Mm-hmm.
community will help you. It will give your children confidence. If it's a
Mm-hmm.
community of different nationalities, it will show your children how to mix with diverse communities. If it's a community of all Nigerians, it will show your children how to mix, and home culture will come into it. So it's really good to build a community. It is. Gibson Okeke said, I will be on the PGC alone in the UK to avoid stress to everyone. I'm happy for you. I am happy for you. It's one of those times in your life when each day you wake up, you think, why did I sign up for this? But just
Mm.
hold on and understand that understand that the darkest part of the night is the beginning of the morning.
Mm.
You'll be fine. You will be
Yes,
fine.
you.
Lucy says, I never used to like teaching job. Now I think I am developing interest in the teaching sector. Parenting abroad will be facilitated while in the teaching field. It will be. If you are
Mm.
inside the school, first of all, your child will see you as a highly skilled worker. That's the first thing. Teachers are
Mm.
respected all over the world. Mommy and I say this all the time. And if Onyi was here, she will corroborate this story. If you're in the teaching profession, people will respect you. I need to give your child that confidence. Your child will hold his head up high. I'm not trying to negate other professions, but there's just something about teaching that just, yeah, yeah. Please join us. You would love it. You would love it. Right, mommy. On to the next one. See, I love that proverb about, yes, please, fortune. Yes, the darkest part of the night is the beginning of the morning. If you're going through anything in your life, just remember that once the thing has gotten to the point where it feels as if I can't do this anymore, hang in there, hang on to your
Mhm.
faith, hang on to
Mhm.
your resolve, because you know the morning is coming.
Mm.
Yes, there's no, it can't be darker than that because it's the darkest. So, yeah. Oh my God. So, balancing work and family life. Whoo.
Mm.
Um, we've already started by talking about me doing PGC care and
Yeah.
all of that. Mommy, you throw your own in before I take over the conversation. How do you
Okay.
balance your
Mm.
life and work?
Well, I'll tell everyone that when you're coming, if you're here already as as an immigrant, we call it immigrant in the UK. Don't mind me. If you're here already, yes. Mm. If you're here already living abroad, or you're just coming, or you're aspiring to relocate abroad, just have it in mind that if you're coming as with your partner, have it in mind that you have to work in line with each other's work
Say
schedules. Yes,
so that they will get you in the back.
you have to work in line with each other's work patterns. If your partner is doing day, someone has to do night. You both can do days. If you have younger children, if your children are teenagers, oh, you're free. Yeah, don't bother. You're free. Though you still have to keep an eye on them. You still have to take care of your children so that they won't be lost in the diaspora. But
Yes.
you still have that relief. But if you have younger children
Ah.
on below 10, below 12,
Ah.
mm, it's it's real work. I'm not trying
Hmm.
to scare you. I'm in the shoe. I'm not trying to scare you, but you just
Yes.
have to walk through each other's patterns. Just navigate it. Yes, just try and navigate it. If you both are chasing shifts, you will lose these children. Not you might not even be to social services, it might even be to the community, whereby they won't be
Yes.
useful to you and they won't be useful to themselves.
Yes. That is true. That is true.
So you just have to, is a sacrifice.
Hmm.
So if
So how?
someone
Somebody said housemates. There's no housemates.
eh, okay,
If you get a housemate, that means everything you work, just carry it
you
on
work,
because the
yes,
government regulates it here so that you, even housemaid is minimum wage. You must pay what they
exactly.
pay minimum wage.
Exactly.
What the government pays as minimum wage.
It's just like you. Minimum wage here in the UK as at the moment, I think, is £11
Yeah.
55. If I'm accurate.
So for
So
childcare is
your
more.
house, yes. So your housemaid would be the. Let's just say some are above £11 55. So your housemaid will be taking £11 55 per hour, taking care of your child, and probably at
Yes.
your place of work, your 1 hour is also £11 55. So it's like you working, paying the housemaid.
Yes. Just carry the full salary and say, okay, take, thank you very
so,
much. I
so,
love
you, so
you.
you can see
You
that,
can
so
you
you
can
can see
have
housemates cannot work here. So
mm,
how you can navigate that is we have breakfast club, just like Jay has mentioned. Breakfast club, it means schools here start at 8:45. Some have 8:30. So breakfast club means you can drop them off at 8 o'clock,
yes.
and then you can go to your own place. I drop mine at 8:45 when they resume because I work to the glory of God. Our work patterns, it matches, it fits one another.
Yes,
So
you're
yeah,
lucky. I used to
yeah.
throw
So
mine. I used to stand at the door from the car and throw them in. If they're trying to tell me anything, I'll be like, yes, yes, yes. I'm going to the car. I'm walking to the car. I'm like, yes, okay. When I come back, because I have to
so
get
we
there.
also have so we also have after school club, whereby if you can't pick them up at 3, some school closes 3, some 2:45, some 3:15, and some half 3. But it's very rare for primary school to close half 3. Max is 3:15. So
3:15.
if you won't be able to pick them up at that time, you have after school club. All these
Yes.
breakfasts and after school that I'm saying is not free. Here in
Mm,
the UK, school is free, but when it comes to extras, they are not free. Breakfast club you have to pay. After school club you have to pay. So, and I will also say that to avoid you being frustrated, this has happened to me before. When your children are coming in, they might not adjust to the food quickly. in
No,
the
they
school.
will not. They
Yes,
will not.
because meals in the school is free till year two. Year two
Yes.
is like primary two in Nigeria.
And it's not
Well, I
good
don't
meal.
know.
Please tell them the meal. It's not
No,
meal.
no,
Oh.
it's not. No, no, it's now changing, Jay.
It used to
They
be
have
that
changed.
small pack. It used to be that small pack of cornflakes.
No, no. It's actually now they
And
have
one,
cheese, now they have chicken, now they have fries, they have fish fingers, they have ice cream. That's why I said it has changed.
no. I'm not talking about the meals at school. I'm talking about the breakfast. I thought you were talking about the
Oh,
breakfast.
okay. Breakfast club. Oh, okay.
The breakfast club meal is that small pack of cornflakes. My son used to cry, "Mommy,
Oh,
I'm not full." So I used to give him two different lunch boxes, and then the children
lunch.
will be laughing at him. The children in his class will be laughing at him that you are so that's why you are so fat. You're such a fatty. The thing used to annoy me. And it wasn't fat. But my children, they had mouth because me too, I have mouth. So they'll be like, yeah. And if I'm a fatty, when they say, how did you even used to answer them? They used to give them back the answer. Like, I beg you, when my stomach is growling, you know, all these children, they don't really eat much. When they eat
Yeah,
one biscuit, that's it. They've had
yeah,
lunch, or
yeah,
they will have 3 slices of cucumber. You guys
yeah.
prepared. In Nigeria, we load the small cooler for them to go to school with rice
Yes,
and
yeah, you
eggs.
don't.
Here,
Mm-mm.
no, they will be calling your children fatty. So please, you have to
In
fortify
fact,
your
if you
children.
give them, if you give them, you have to. Let me just talk on that before we move on. If you are doing
Please,
pack lunch, because I did pack lunch for my children at first. When even if you are doing pack lunch for them, you have to be. That's why I said so that you won't be frustrated when you come in. Let them eat if they are still under the free meal. Free meal is from early years to year two here in the UK. From year three, you have to pay. So if they are still under the free meal, or if you don't, if you can pay, if you don't want to probably go through that stretch of pack lunch for them and let them eat in school so that they will adjust to the meals here abroad. So they will adjust. Children adjust easily. It's we adult that we take time to adjust. Children
yes,
adjust easily. Yeah. So even if you're doing pack lunch, you can do pack lunch. A lot of people do pack lunch. Please let your pack lunch be healthy. If it's not healthy, they will still call you that you are giving your children
yes,
unhealthy food. Yes. So you need
and they will write
fruit.
it down for
Yeah.
social services. Uh-huh.
Yes. So you need fruits. Then when they were doing pack lunch, I shop every day because I'm always thinking, okay, we need this dessert in the packed because you use like
Yes,
portions plate here. It's not that our big cooler in that Jay talked about. So you have fruits.
yes,
Fruit has to be there. Dessert has to be there. And then it has to be it has to be complete. Protein has to be there, so you can't be
yes,
giving rice. You can't be giving spaghetti,
right.
spaghetti.
Even the children will laugh at your child if you're giving them that. They'll be calling your child.
You can't be giving them like sandwich. You just have to mix it. You can In fact you can have a timetable of what you give them every day of the week if you're doing pack lunch. So, but if you want to reduce your stress, they can have their meals in school. They give them good lunch meals in school, depending on the school. I've worked in the primary and secondary, and even sometimes I do hit in school, and it's a good one. So you can also let them take free meals in school just to relieve yourself of the stress. Presently, I don't think of, oh, what are we having tomorrow? Because they have their meal in school. Someone said, you said school is free. Yeah, it is free here from primary, secondary. I
Up
think
to
the college
16.
is free as well.
College is free. Yeah, it's further
But,
education, but it's
yeah, but university you have to pay.
you have to pay.
For primary is
Most
free.
country, most countries that I've been to, schooling is free. Norway school is free for children,
Yes.
or for yeah, for kindergarten. Even if they pay, it's very tiny. Maybe you pay maybe the equivalent of maybe 20 euros or something. The Netherlands, it's free. Spain school is free. Public school, please, not private
Yes.
school.
Not private schools,
Private
yes.
private school, they have to pay people like me, so it's not free. It's very expensive. I think my school, they pay the equivalent of 15,000 euros a year for
Okay.
children. But if you're a teacher at the school, your children go for free.
Wow.
So it's still free for you. as
Yeah.
the teacher at the school. But for non-teachers, they pay. But public schools is free. Most
Free.
countries
Yeah.
have free schooling for children. In Australia, they don't have free. When I went there, thank God my children were on my contract. I wouldn't have been able to go stay in Australia. It's not free. Mm-mm. If your
Wow.
visa states that you're not, because the schooling is not free for school age children in Australia.
Mm.
For anybody coming from outside, it's only Australian children born in Australia with Australian passports that have access to free school. So if you're
Mm.
coming on a visa, study permit, or anything to Australia, prepare your money because you are going to pay for school, even if your child is
Mm.
going to public school. Unless you work in an international school like I did, then your children will be on your contract. Then your children will still go to school for free.
Mm.
Okay.
So yeah,
Now,
but other extras is not free here in the United Kingdom, like breakfast after school, and then if your child is not 3 in the United Kingdom, you have to pay for nursery. Well, in
yes,
my you have to pay for nursery. In some schools, it's £20 for 3 hours.
that's cheap.
Yeah, £20 for 3 hours.
That's cheap. When I was there, it was not. Oh, ha! It
Wow.
was not. When I was there, I used to pay £400 a month.
Mm.
So
Wow.
that's £100 each
A
week.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was because I was a student.
Uh-huh.
I was in PGCE. When I was
Someone
not
said
doing,
for someone said for nursery. Yes.
yes,
If
that's
your child is not 3 yet, if your child is 3, your child is entitled to 15 hours per week. That's if you're a non-UK resident. I mean, non-UK means if you're not a British, um, if you don't have your permanent residency here yet, or you're not from the EU, the European countries, then you are entitled to only 15 hours. But if you're from the European country, or you have your permanent residency here, or you have ancestry visa here, then you are entitled to 30 hours if
30
your
hours.
child is yes, if your child is 3. But for us, like immigrants, as UK people call it, you're entitled to 15 hours. But you can top it up.
Experts. We're experts. We're teachers. Yeah, I'm going to ring that bell. I'm going to ring that bell. Who's an expert? Is it because of the color of my skin? In fact, that is special. I'm saving it because I had this argument with someone. I said I'm an expert. He said, "No, you can't be an expert. Where are you from?" I was like, "You have a dictionary. Was an expert, was an immigrant, was a migrant. We better bring out your dictionary. My children have my mouth. You will meet them. You meet them. I'm like, better bring out your dictionary now. Let's dig deep to the bottom of this story. By the time we finish, it was not like, but people just see that experts are people from a certain part of the world. I said, well, those people need to go to school. This is what we are saying.
Okay.
You should fortify your children so that they will be able to stand up for themselves in public. This talk, in fact, that's the next talk we are going to. Discrimination is something that your children will face. If you think that just because they are coming home and they are not telling you about it, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. They will start from little things. I remember the day someone called my daughter a brownie. You know brownie? Brownie is like chocolate cake. My
Mm.
daughter was in nursery. She was in reception. She came home from the gate. Mommy! You would think the whole world wants to fall down. Because my daughter is quite the drama queen, like me. She said, someone called her a brownie. I said, brownie. My sister-in-law was standing with me. She said, yes, but brownie is sweet. So don't worry, it's sweet. I was like, how did he tell you that you're a brownie? He said, go away from here, brownie. You're going to dirty my skin. I said, I turned around quickly. We're not even going home anymore. We're going into the school. I just let her answer my sister-in-law. But as soon as I heard brownie, me, I was already like, okay, let's go. Ijati Deleni. So we went into the school. And then the teacher was trying to pacify me. No, maybe she was just joking. Well, is my daughter laughing? If it's a joke, she should be laughing. She's not laughing. So if she's not laughing and she's feeling hurt and emotionally not stable, it means that it was not said in jest. She said, "Oh, it's just banter, children." No, maybe we need to educate the boy. Where is the boy and where is his mother? We just want to have a chat. She was like, they've gone home. I went home. They said they were going to get to the bottom of the matter. I went home. I gave them 48 hours because it's a mandatory thing in the UK for you to send an email and you wait for 48 hours for them to respond to you. So I Yoruba would say omisuru. I drank omisuru, and I was like, I made sure I was not aggressive because they will hold on to that. I gave them 48 hours. Maybe they thought I'd forgotten. I didn't forget. My daughter was going into school, and I would come home and I was trying to boost her morale every time I saw her. This was still with PGC, but I don't joke with my children. That's what I'm just trying to say. So 48 hours later, I went into the school after sending an email. I don't think they've even opened the email, but I was already at the school. Hello, I came in to come and talk about what we were talking about the other day. You said you were going to get back to me. I've not heard anything from you guys. She said, "Oh, sorry, that they should have emailed me." I said, "Oh, really? Okay. And what was going to be in the email?" They said, "Don't worry, I should no. I've waited for the email. The email didn't come, so I'm coming into school today, and I'm not going home because my daughter is not feeling very comfortable in this class anymore. So I have a cause for concern." Now, if the teacher in the class can feel a cause for concern that you are not being a good parent, you should use your parental rights to fill a cause for concern form, because Ofsted is going to be looking at it and the school does not want that. So use that power that you have. So we had a roundtable talk that day, and they said, was I happy? I said, not right, not quite, not very happy, because they were like, they will talk to the children about African culture. And I said, but what does African culture have to do with it? We're talking about the color of her skin, and he's calling her brownie, and he's done it in such a way that she's not happy, obviously. My daughter said every time they said it, he would laugh, and then all the others would run away. I brought out my teaching standards. Thank God I was in PGC, so I was hot. I was like a newly converted Christian then. It's hot. I was like, okay, my teaching standard says that a child has a right to feel safe in her environment, or else learning will not happen. A child has a right to. By the time I quoted everything, they were like, okay. What are they going to do? I said, I want to speak to the child and the child's mother. Oh, they don't know how they'll be able to do that. Don't worry. You call them. I will make myself available. But your course, oh, you remember my course now. Don't worry about my course. I will tell them that there's a cause for concern issue at your school that I have to sort. When I said that, they were like, oh, don't worry. After school, they will sort a meeting after school. We had the meeting with the child's mother, but you could tell from the way the child's mother was talking, that she was trying to protect her child. And I was not aggressive. I'm trying to protect my child as well. Anyway, at the end of that day, I made sure that my voice was I made sure that I was stating facts. I was not talking through my emotions, because when you talk through your emotions, you tend to shout, you tend to mix your words. No. I was ready. The 48 hours I gave them to prepare, I was preparing to. So you state your claim and you quote all the. Please, if you don't know about the United Nations Rights of the Child, if you are taking your child to America, Australia, any country in the diaspora, you need to have the United Nations Rights of the Child on your phone as screensaver. It will save you a lot. So at the end of the day, we sat down, we talked about it. They said they will isolate the boy and make him understand that my daughter is not happy with that thing he is saying, and that they will keep an eye on her. After that, I made sure that I kept up with it, because you have to keep up with making sure that whatever you've done has not given your child a negative effect at school. And she did not have that problem at school anymore. And after that day, they knew me that this one, don't joke with her child, because she knows the law. She knows the rules. She's not one of the multitude of people out there. And yes, my daughter was a happy child after that, and I was a happy parent. Yes. we have to give them the backing. If they are at home, they have aunties, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, everybody. Here, you are the only one, so you have to get yourself well informed so that you can support your child properly. We cannot get to the end of the road, and then the children are not at the end of the road with us. Then what will be the use of us bringing them here? We should have just stayed in Nigeria. No need to japa.
Inoma said, I love that. Yeah.
Yes,
Fortune.
please.
Yes. Fortune said, wow. Yeah, really wow.
We need to, as we are taking care of other people's children,
Yes.
we need to give our own children maximum attention, because you know, when I was growing up, they used to say a pastor's child, nine spoil pass. Because pastor is busy shepherding the church, there should be someone shepherding the child. We're in that position too, where we have children in our pastoral care in the classroom. That means there's a tendency for you to think, oh, it's my child. My child should know. No. They need a lot of attention too. They need a lot of care. They need a lot of attention, because they can see how much care we are giving other people's children. They need that care too. And we need to give it to them.
Yes.
Mommy, save me before I talk the whole life off. Oh my
God. Okay. Omotala said this is so true. Yes, it is. Ebo, he said, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well. I'm so sorry. Good job, Jay. I'm really learning from you about this. Yes, we've learned a lot tonight. And I will also chip in something. I remembered why Jay was talking, that if your children are in school, please don't take them to school late, and don't pick them up late.
No.
When I was in the primary, I'm no longer in the primary. When I was in the primary, I've had to stay back with children, and then we'll both sit like this waiting for their parents. So that's it. That's not good enough. That's not good enough, because the school is watching. The school is like a camera watching you, writing everything. Yes. So if it doesn't, I'm not saying okay, when that happened, then you should panic. If it's just probably once in a whole session, it's fine. Anything can happen. And when you get there, explain to them this is what I have. You can even call your school.
Yes, I wanted to say, don't wait. As soon as you see that it's 10, you cannot reach 10 minutes. Just call. They won't take that child outside. They'll they'll just send the child to the reception, and the child will sit down in the reception. Exactly. So that way everybody is aware. Before, you don't want bad name. It will, as a teacher, it will affect your DBS. It will affect your DBS.
So yes. So we just have to be on our toes just to take care of these children. Just to take care of them. And if you're probably okay, your work doesn't allow you to take your child, probably you're sending in someone else, a friend, let the school know. They won't even release your child. Let the school know. Yes, let the school know about this. It's not that when your friend or your neighbor gets there, they will now start ringing you. Have you sent someone?
No. I used to hate that. Me, I'm teacher looking at the time. For one, I'm looking at the mom. I'm trying to look for the mom from far so that I can send the child off. Then I'll now see somebody else standing in front of me. I won't even answer the person. I'll be looking. Then the person will now have to say, I came to collect the child. I'll be like, I don't know you. Sorry.
Yeah.
This day and age of no, I don't know you. My DBS or you, no. My DBS is more important to me, because that DBS is really, really important, guys. It's your database of disclosure barring service. It's CRP I'm trying to quote before. Disclosure barring service. That thing, even parking ticket, it will show there. Parking tickets. They gave you were speeding. If you were speeding and you just speed past the traffic camera, the next DBS you do, it will be there. So please, DBS, disclosure barring service. you cannot enter a classroom in the diaspora unless your DBS is clean.
Yes.
If your DBS has small, you cannot teach. That even if you are volunteering, if your DBS has a little, they will tell you no, sorry, you cannot
Mm.
volunteer. Or they won't even
Yes.
tell you why. They'll just say,
Mm.
they are polite to a fault. They'll check in the other school there. Okay, okay. Oh, he's here. Your sweetheart is here. Okay, this brings me to the next one. This brings me to the next one. Guys, as teachers, we're always swamped. We don't remember to kiss our husband and treat them like baby because we are marking, doing lesson plan, doing. Please, as you are taking care of the children, what is today? Balancing cultures and tradition. Still remember that you look, marriage is not for children, marriage is for companionship. Children come as
Mm.
extra. So you have to take care of the first person in that marriage first before the
Yeah.
children. So we've talked about you guys taking care of children, but the main is the one that you have to take care of so that he can help you when you need to do lesson plan so that the children. You've not gone to kiss him welcome. Hey, we are here preaching to people. Ah, I will sanction you. Okay, guys. Any questions before we go? He said, please, can you talk about how parents can manage their children's behavior at home instead of using the African way? Talking. You will talk until your mouth will move to the back. You know those cartoons we used to watch when we were young, where they will slap the duck and then the mouth will go round and go to the back. You will talk until your mouth will go to the back too. You have to talk. You have to build a relationship with your children no matter how stressed you are. You have to talk to them. You see, mommy said when they come from school, you just start chatting with them. Or as you're walking home, chat with them, get to know them, talk to them. I need to bring my children on the channel so that they will give you people my parenting style. So that in case in case I'm here talking nonsense, people they will my children will not hide me. They will talk. I know them. Their mouth is sharp. You have to build a relationship with them. You have to let them know you have their back. I tell my children, no matter what you do, tell me first. And let us solve the problem together. And whenever they talk to you and they tell you their issues or their problems, don't do African mother style. Is that what No, it will not work. They will not tell you anything again. Even when they tell you about the child that is bullying them in the classroom, don't shout. Is that what happened? Then what happened next? So what did you do? What did the teacher do? Meanwhile, inside your head, you are shouting, but you say, So what did the teacher do? And you, how do you feel? Well, so what's going to happen tomorrow? Are you okay to go tomorrow? Once the child says, it's the way the child is feeding up you. You say, yes, bring them on the channel. I will bring them. My children will not hide me. I know them. That's why I've been hiding them since. Today alone, I told them to film something for me because I'm in Spain. If you see, they were like, so your audience, they will think that you are the one doing this one. Meanwhile, we're the ones filming for you. I was like, please. And you can hear their voice in the video. They will not hide me. But that's our relationship. We have that relationship where they know they can come to me with anything. I don't judge them. I don't shout. I try my best. After that parenting class where my child was beating a doll in me, I try my best. I talk instead. I might
Mm.
tell them, I'm not really happy with what you've done. I know you
Mm.
must have had a reason to have done it. But
Yeah.
please, next time, can you think about what you are doing? And
Mm.
then I'll walk away. So that I don't, African mother style where they will talk, bang the door, walk away, come back, bang the door, shout, the whole house will be shaking. No, we don't do that here. You have to try. We have to remember that your children go to school and they mix with people at school and they talk. And
Yeah.
if your child is always talking about you as a witch, and your
Mm.
child's friends always talk about their mother like angels, your child will start to see you as a witch too. But if you are
Mhm.
understanding and you take, as you've moved to a place where their parenting style is different, you don't want to lose touch with home, but you don't want to let go the way they let go here and just allow anything to go. So you have to find a balance. How many times have we talked about balance on this channel, mommy?
Yeah.
So many times, Abby.
Consistent. So, referring to what Ngozi said
Uh-huh.
about managing children's behavior. I think
Yes.
what she's also, yes, Jay, you're very right. And I think what she's also trying to say is in terms of when they are very naughty. Here in the diaspora, or I'll say here abroad, we have different ways in which, depending on your child's behavior, you will know your child. Jay has said talking. It's just like you knowing the abilities of the students in your classroom. I will still go back to the classroom, in which we
Yes.
have the higher abilities, we have the lower abilities, we have the middle abilities. When I'm relating with my SEND students, I relate with them in a calm way. I can decide to say, okay, do you want to step outside? Whereby I will go back and say, are you ready to make the right choice? Have you thought about your actions? Have you thought about, so there are some children, even if they are not low abilities, there are some children whereby when you talk to them, it gets to them. There are some students, I keep saying students, there are some children,
Right, teacher. You cannot separate the two.
there are some children whereby you have to, they will go to a naughty corner. It is allowed here. Naughty corner means you're not going, we don't whip here. No whipping,
No.
no.
School. They will
Naughty
hear it at
corner
school the
means
next day.
naughty corner means they are going to sit there quietly, not talking to anyone. And children does not like that. They
They
don't
don't
like it.
like
So
that.
after a while, then you go to the naughty corner. My children knows they have their naughty corners around the house. You go there and say, "Are you ready to make the right choice?" Yeah, definitely they are ready. And then so you have
And
different,
then
depending on their age, you have
yeah.
different ways you can manage their behavior. Okay, they've done something wrong. You can, here we use grounded. Grounded means you're going to your room and you're going to be there.
Yes.
They don't like it.
No pocket
Grounded means,
money or no, just something small.
yes, grounded means probably you're not watching the TV for the next 2 days. Oh, they don't like that. Even if they are teenagers. I'm a teacher at school. I'm a teacher in the church, in the house of God. I'm a teenagers teacher. There was there was one of my students in the teenage church whereby I think I hacked about her in relation to her. I don't know how we got talking about the phone. And then she said she's grounded. That is why her phone is not with. So that is another
Way.
way of
So if you
managing
can go
behavior.
out, nobody's shouting.
Yes.
Nigeria, your mother will report you to the neighbor and the aunties and the uncles that will travel. One YouTuber said his uncle traveled all the way from Ibadan to Lagos to come and flog him. I say, ha. I was like, oh, because he did not pass physics, I mean, was it chemistry? Because he didn't
Oh
pass one, so
no.
his uncle came all the way from Ibadan to Lagos to flog him, and they told him to go and bring the king so that they will flog him. Please, guys, when we do that here, you remove your child's confidence.
Mm.
Your child cannot talk about home life at school. And when he starts hiding home life from his friends at school, then he will learn to hide things from you that happen at school from you. And after some
Yeah.
time, there's a disconnect with you and that child. There's a disconnect with that child and so many things. We don't want that. Someone say, how do you make them obey rules like tablet, TV time? Oh, make sure that you are fair. That's the first thing.
Mhm.
Make sure you are consistent. If it's a rule that there's no
Yes.
tablet, you too put tablets down.
Thank
Ehen.
you. Mhm.
If it is everybody, no tablet at the table, for instance, you don't come and say, Auntie Philomena is calling me. No, Auntie Philomena will wait. The rule is no tablet at the table. Mommy, you to follow the rule. When they see that you are being fair, even if this
Mm.
happens in the classroom, I tell my children healthy eating. One day I was eating my daughter's birthday cake from the day before. They came, Mrs. B, you're eating I said I forgot. I carried the cake and threw it in the bin. So they saw
Do you
me.
know what? I remember this, and In fact, I sent it one of my lifestyle videos. I told my
Uh-huh.
children, my students that because you have a chat with them just to get their attention. I teach in the secondary school and they love
Yes.
gist. So I was telling them, oh, okay, I want to go on a diet. They were so happy. Oh, they were giving me tips on how I can go on a diet and all that.
Okay.
So I then on a Friday I was so hungry. I didn't take like my packed lunch from home, so I went to the kitchen to the dining to order for chips and beans. Oh no! When they saw this, they were like, "Miss, your diet is gone." So exactly, I've broken the rules. So it's
Uh-huh.
just like what Jay is saying. And then when you set the rules, just set rules, just like we do in the classroom as teachers. You set rules. Okay, they have a bedtime. If bedtime is 8 p.m., school
Uh-huh.
time, term time. I'll use
You
term time
have to be
because during summer holiday,
consistent.
you have to be consistent with that. Indoor or outdoor play, they should know, okay, you can't just tell me to take you on outdoor play probably during the week. They should know probably if it's weekends we go on outdoor plays, they know it's weekend. They will be looking forward to Saturday because they know it's Saturdays we go for outdoor plays. Study time, everything still goes aligned with rules. They should know their study time, they should know the TV time, tablet time, and yes, we'll be good.
Yes, so please be consistent. Hey, mommy, you see sometimes when we are having our life, mommy's children are used to a particular bedtime, and you see them, they will come. As soon as they start coming, we know you can see us. We tell them we are so sorry we are holding your mom. She's a child. I don't think anybody ever told me sorry in Africa when I was young. But you have to show them that we're in this together, because the way you feel out of place in this new country is times 10 for them. You are their support, you are their bedrock, you are their comfort, you are their shield. You have to provide that warmth for them so that they know that once they run from that outside, they know where to go and they will get warmth from you. So, consistency is the key. It's not easy.
Yes.
If I can tell you this after running from care to PGC to school to pick children to throw, you can do it. And if you can't do it, call me. We'll give you the push. We'll give you that support.
And with children, when you set the rules, I love children a lot. In fact, okay, I love when I was in primary, I enjoyed it. When you give them the rules, even if one is breaking, if you have more than one child, even if one is breaking the rule, they will start telling you, "Oh, you've done something. You're not supposed to do that." I enjoyed that when I was in the primary. They will be the one telling the other person you've broken the rule. So when you just stick to the rule, you're definitely going to be fine. There are some cartoon channels I don't like my children watching, and they know. They know.
And not that you will tell them not to watch it, then they will see you sneaking to watch it. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Exactly. Exactly.
What you make it fair. Children understand fairness. Children understand when you are unfair. You cannot say, we cannot do this. Then you will be the one doing it. Then you tell them, I go to bed, don't ask me question. I know now. They
Mm,
do a lot of they teach them about fairness at school a lot.
yeah.
So when they come home and they see that you are not consistent, you cannot you want to create that. And hey, please don't try and be vulnerable with them. You can tell them the truth. I'm not really having a good day today. They know. They can
Yes.
see it. Be vulnerable with them so that they can be vulnerable with you. I'm really feeling anxious. I'm going for an interview today. I'm a little bit anxious about it. They will say, sorry, mommy. You see, they'll be empathetic. And that's what we
Yeah.
need. Children who have
Mm.
empathy. Because of that empathy, they will understand that you are doing your best and they will want to work with you. It's not easy in the diaspora, but God will help us in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll be rounding up now so that mommy can go to her love. I don't want to cause asunder. What God has put together, diaspora duties will not put asunder. Yeah, are there any questions, guys? As Ebohi said, someone said he controlled the child that was holding a disc player and he was sacked. and his name was in DBS. His name was not in DBS. His name was on an offenders list, not DBS. DBS is disclosure barring, showing all the things you've done in your life. This is why you need to go and clean your social media. We didn't talk about this more. Hey, our list was too long. This is our gist.
If you want to, I dropped a video about that today. You can go on my channel and watch about it.
Check it out. In fact, you guys check out Omomi's channel. It's loaded with, you know, now she has it. She cooks it well for you guys. And when you want to talk about the the behavior management, school stuff, I'm the one that talks about this strict stuff. She talks about the, you know, the lifestyle part of it, the gisty side of it. So guys, subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and please drop questions. This question we're talking about today was from someone's suggestion, and see, had fun with it. So please drop all the suggestions that you want us to cover, since we are all here and we'll all talk about it. We want to do something where we'll start inviting people to the channel. So you click, we bring you on, you say, so that you add to it. And if you're happy to do that, we'll be dropping the link next week when the topic comes out. So please drop the topic, drop the gist, and you'll be joining us and taking the stage with us. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening, and we've had such a wonderful time. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Hasta luego, hasta la próxima.
Onyi is not here. Onyi is not here today to give you
her apple stuff. So guys, bye guys. Have a wonderful week and wonderful last week and next week. Bye guys.
Bye.